your salary or a pension, or it will pay for your life, da da da. Safety is an illusion. A safe job, a safe house, a safe relationship I thought were safe or were supposed to be safe were the most dangerous of all. So my name is Martina Pemac, and I'm the founder of the company MATRON. So the company is, I'd like to say that it's my interpretation of what the future music company looks like. So MATRON has three pillars or three legs: artist management, legacy management, and the third pillar is the studio that we have in Stockholm. That's MATRON in three ways, and my idea with it all is to create the ecosystem where these three aspects feed into each other, where the ultimate goal of it is copyright and the ownership of that copyright. So, and that's what I was going to say. So the legacy aspect is, once a song or an album has been released and it's out for 18 months, it automatically becomes catalog. So in my work previously, where I used to do this was when I was working for Universal Music, that is one of the sort of biggest rights holders in the world, and controlling the rights of Beatles, the Stones, Elton John, Bob Marley, Lady Gaga, Rihanna, Eminem, you name it, the list goes on. This is all repertoire and this is all catalog. Even though the artist is perhaps releasing new music, there is still the old music there. It's a value for fans. It has a financial value. When the artist goes on tour, it doesn't only perform new songs, they will perform old songs as well. And even if the artist is no longer with us, the music is still being played. Artists like Prince and Bob Marley, like these are cultural phenomena. The thinking and the job there is to keep this music culturally relevant. It's the work really is a 360 brand strategy for how do you take the music of Bob Marley, for example, and keep reintroducing it to young people who have no connection, emotional or cultural, or no contact with this music, because they're a new generation and they have their own heroes and their own music. So it's about re-educating a young generation about where their favorite artist might have drawn inspiration from. Because there's always a tree, you know, you can always link, because an artist is always, they're inspired by other artists and other works of music, and that they take the influences from their many inspirations and they create something new. So you can always take sort of any current artist and trace back where that bloodline comes from. So this becomes relevant and this becomes interesting. You know, artists are also sort of narrators of our time. They can be political, they can be social, they can be philosophical. They're communicating a message. And that message, if it's a strong universal message, can transcend time. So, you know, looking at John Lennon and the Beatles and what they stood for in a time when the world was in flames, and when the world was tensed, they had a message of peace and hope and unity, and I feel like that is as relevant today as it ever was. So that's the context of how legacy is worked. Yeah, I love my job. That's the thing, my job is my hobby, my passion. It's what I would have done and it's what I used to do alongside other work. So for me, this is a lifestyle more than a job. So this is I very much live in in my own world in that sense. You know, you need someone in front of you who will give you the opportunities when you are ready for them, and perhaps like save you from certain situations that you are perhaps not ready for. And it's a balance, and it's only somebody who cares about you who can do that, because that's the sort of biggest downfall is to, I mean, and they're very sort of opposite sides, but they're representing the same problem. Like being held back is as much of a hurdle and a problem and a difficulty as being pushed too quickly into something that you are not ready for, because that can have other effects on you. So you need somebody who's done the journey, who cares about you, who wants you to succeed, who believes in you, who can help you navigate that very difficult journey. And I've been very lucky to have had those types of people in the industry that have really helped me get from one position to the next. I'm very bold, meaning I'm not afraid of difficult situations. So I have very strong-headedly pushed through the walls because I'm like that naturally. Because for me that felt safer and that felt better than the opposite. And then of course I realized that not all people are like that, and you can't always just go to offense always. But for me that's been very helpful to overcome situations, is to do them. Because what is the worst thing that could happen? You can get no, you can get turned down, it can fail, but you only have to try again. And I think that for me has always been some sort of voice in the back of my head that you can't fail if you keep going, because failure is just stopping for me. My best advice would be that safety is an illusion. A safe job, a safe house, a safe relationship, this idea that something is safe, a country is safe, or you name it, it's an illusion. And I don't believe it's real. And I think that a lot of people put their dreams and fantasies and visions aside because it is hard to build a business and build a house and build a family and build. It's hard. And I think that a lot of people will stick with something else because of this idea that it's safe. They will stay in that job because they think it's safe, because you will get your salary or a pension, or it will pay for your life, But what I've learned through my experience is that all of these things that I thought were safe or were supposed to be safe were the most dangerous of all. And so for me, when I feel safe somewhere, I question that. So I think that's the advice that I would like to pass on, is that perhaps the safest thing is to do the hardest thing, which is building your own legacy. I mean, workers' high is, for me, this feeling of opportunity. When you've hit a milestone or a goal, you're already thinking about the next one, and you can go one more mile. It's very difficult to stop that, especially if you're on a positive streak of events. It gives you a lot of pleasure because it's reassuring, and you also know that you had just last month a bad streak where it seems like nothing worked and where it seemed like it was impossible. And now with certain things going well, you don't want to stop. But so I don't know if it's good or bad. But sometimes I think like that in life. When you're in a good, because life is up and down and it's never linear. Nothing is ever linear. Nothing is safe. Nothing is always. When you're in a good spiral, just optimize it as much as you can, because there will be, the bad times are also coming. But, and then when you're going through them, you have to remember that you'll come out of there as well. So, and sometimes when you're in the downfalls, maybe sometimes all you can do is just accept it and wait for it to pass and not really over intellectualize it. It's difficult, but sometimes I think waiting things out is the best solution.